Hello, Vicky. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
Thank you so much for joining. Uh, Today, I would like to talk about Supermoms, the amazing organization where you are the head of training. I think it's an amazing organization, unique organization in the world that mothers can take advantage of to change their careers and become awesome Salesforce professionals. I didn't know about it until very recently, so I was excited to find out there is such an organization, and that's why I'm interested to talk to you so that more people can find out and take advantage of the opportunities you guys are creating for many mothers.
Absolutely. Yes, Supermoms, I just love the program and love the mission. It's not just my job, it's a little bit of a passion on the side as well. And yes, would you like me to talk a little bit about the background of Supermoms and where it came about?
Yes, yes, please. First, perhaps can you tell us about your own personal background, and then if you could tell us about Supermoms.
Absolutely. So, personally, I came from a non-tech background myself. I always had an interest in it, and it was something that I told myself if I ever had the time, I would learn coding, I would learn tech, and I'd love to get into it. But I was a French major in college and moved to France to teach English in French schools, and then ended up sticking around. So I went into online and remote English teaching before transitioning into teacher management. So I was very much so in the education sphere. I love training. I love teaching. I love teaching other people. And we were using Salesforce, but not necessarily in the best way possible. So I got into Salesforce when one of our colleagues started a Slack channel, and for CPD, for training and upskilling ourselves, she started a little challenge.
When is
And
this
it
you
was
started using Salesforce?
in 2017. It was right after my second was born, and I was coming back from mat leave. And they had been using
Oh,
Salesforce from since 2012, so it was already quite in the works.
okay. So this is an organization, English language the organization that facilitates English language teaching, and you were I that's where they started using Salesforce, and that's how you got acquainted with it.
Yeah, they were using it for teacher scheduling, for
Mm,
marketing, for responding to cases from the students, really doing everything around the student life
mm,
and teacher life cycles. So it was a really interesting use case to be a part of too, because
hmm.
you got to see how it was being used, how it was being implemented from a user side. And then once we started going on Trailhead and started up this Trailhead challenge, then all of us got a little bit competitive and started to really rack up the badges and started to learn Salesforce administration and realized that there were so many cool products and functionalities that we weren't using that would be able to improve things and make it better. So, for
Mm.
example, we're looking into communities. We weren't using communities at the time, and we started looking into communities for the teacher application processes coming in and different things like that that would be able to improve the experience for everybody. So really focusing in on the journeys from start to finish and how we could use the Salesforce products to make it better.
Cool, cool, cool. And then how did you get from there to Supermoms?
So was studying myself, and towards the end of my administrator journey, just before getting certified, actually, I discovered Supermoms. And said to my colleague that this program, I wish I had found it earlier because I would have done it. But I was already at the end of my certification myself and just maybe a few weeks away from taking it. So I started going to all of the Facebook events that they were holding, and Heather was holding Facebook Lives about how to get into the ecosystem, just talking about Supermoms, talking about the Salesforce world. And I
Mm.
started going to them more and more. And then as soon as I got certified, Heather reached out to me on LinkedIn and mentioned that they were looking for a head of training and would I be interested in it. And it was just like all of the stars aligning, basically. It was the dream job, exactly what I would love to be doing, getting other moms into the workforce and kind of sharing my path with them. Being at the time a mom of two myself, now a mom of three. And also being able to use my training background and not necessarily losing that part of the job that I really enjoyed was teaching other people and being able to share my knowledge with them. So it was just the perfect career path for me, and joining Supermoms in the beginning of 2019.
Cool. Cool. And so tell us about Supermoms. What's unique about the organization in your opinion? Why do you love working there?
Yes. So I would say that it's grown so much. It started in 2016 with Heather launching the program alongside of her consultancy, Economic Change. So Economic Change is a registered consultancy partner with Salesforce. They implement Salesforce for nonprofits. And basically what she saw was that coming back from maternity leave herself with her second, she saw a huge gap with moms who can't get into work, who can't find flexible working, who can't find well-paid careers, who miss out on promotions when they're on mat leave. And you have this whole group of talent that's not being tapped into. And then on the Salesforce side, she was having trouble hiring talent and having talent
Mm,
stay with her consultancy. So she really identified a gap in the Salesforce ecosystem and in the workforce, and started Supermoms to try to fill that gap. So at first, Supermoms was very much tied into economic change, and they would go through the training program and then do real life work experience on a project with a nonprofit.
mhm.
And that's part of the program that has stayed around. And for the admins, we work alongside other consultancy partners now to get more projects in so we can have more mums coming through the cohorts. But it's really that real life work experience that stands out from the rest. And then we combine that with a relatively long learning plan. For the admin course, they come through 6 months rather than it being a boot camp experience or anything like that. It fits the parent schedule much better. And they have mentor support from some of our volunteer mentors, all people who have been in the ecosystem for more than 2 years and who want to give back and share their knowledge and their experience as well. So they have a one-on-one mentor with them through the program. And I think the combination of it all coming through, we've been able to add in coaching as well. And Heather and Zoe are certified coaches and provide career coaching and coaching topics around positive thinking, the learning journey, and things like that,
Mm,
that really just create an entire support network from start to finish. And then we have our Supermoms recruitment arm that can work with people around updating their CV, getting them interview ready, and then putting them out there for interviews.
cool, cool. So you prepare mothers to succeed by teaching both the technical and the soft skills.
Absolutely. And I think that's important because our moms are coming back from career gaps. From some of them are coming back from just a short maternity leave. Some are working and going through the program at the same time. And then there's others who have had maybe a 7-year career gap while they're taking care of kids. And the landscape of the workforce has changed in the meantime. And they're out of practice going out on job interviews and just need that extra support in there. So it's really about creating that support from start to finish to support them into job roles, not just passing a certification,
Mm,
but actually going out there and getting a job role after it.
cool. And what kind of backgrounds are the mothers coming from typically? Are they mothers who used to be in IT or mothers who used to be in just in anything, but they just want to start something new, something exciting?
That's always my favorite part of starting out with a new cohort is finding out all of the different backgrounds because they are so varied and everybody has a different story coming through. I found some people have a similar story to mine where they're coming from teaching backgrounds. They've been teaching in schools, and all of those soft skills can apply really well to Salesforce roles because you can bring in some of the past skills that you've developed. Um, we have people from the hotel industry, from the travel industry, from retail, from IT, really from every background that you can think of. They come in. And a lot of our program has actually had our trainees coming in from word of mouth. So many of them have people, relatives, friends, family who are in the Salesforce ecosystem, have drank the Salesforce Kool-Aid and are saying, well, this is a great place to be. and a great group of people to work with. The community is astounded with Salesforce, and that draws people into it before they necessarily even know what Salesforce is as a product. So we have had some of those cases come in as well.
Cool. So it's amazing that mothers from all kinds of different backgrounds can become Salesforce professionals. And how many people have you guys changed the lives of since you were
So
founded?
that's a good question. I think we're up to 350 trainees since 2016
Wow.
who have signed up for the course. And around 250 of those are coming through our admin course. So we have developed other courses basically because our Supermoms admin said, well, I enjoyed the experience so much that we want to keep studying. And we said, okay, well, we want to find a way to keep supporting you as you're going out and getting other certifications. So we had moms who were from marketing backgrounds, especially. So we started looking at, well, what marketing products do Salesforce have that work really well for job roles, and what's the market demand? And we launched our marketing cloud course last year. So that's one of my passion projects. I'm actually a Salesforce certified instructor who delivers that program, and we have a partnership with Trailhead Academy around that one. So we're able to use some Trailhead Academy content and build out around that for our course. And then we have our consultancy course that Heather Black runs. So with all of her consultancy knowledge and experience, she's able to go over, well, what goes into a successful project in the first place. And she goes through business analysis, requirements gathering, the scoping sessions, project management, and all of those bits and pieces with all of those templates that people can use to go out and work on any product so that they can have that consultancy side and be successful in their products. And then our last course that we've just launched recently is around the coaching. So even if you're already Salesforce certified and you're just looking for a little extra coaching on the side, we have a subscription that you can sign up for and just benefit from the coaching aspect. So really making sure that we have different offerings for whatever people are looking down, whatever paths people are looking to go down.
Cool. And that's a good number of people you guys have trained, 250 people for admin. And from which countries do your students come from? Is it, since you're based in Europe, are most of your students European, or is it American?
Yes, so actually at Dreamforce of last year, so the last Dreamforce that was the in-person, we launched in the US and we went global. So traditionally we had been mostly getting people from the UK, and we do still have a very strong presence in the UK because London is where economic change is based, where the home offices are. Myself, I'm based out of France, so we are a very virtual team, and the program is completely virtual as well. So we've had people coming, we had people joining our admin cohorts from all over the world already. And it was really just about making the shift so that we were able to offer support and live webinars in different time zones. So we've had people from South Africa, from India, from Australia, from all over Europe, Germany, Spain, Italy, a couple of people from France as well. And yes, it's been great seeing everybody come together. And now we have our cohorts in the US, and we have a training manager, and our team has expanded out to the US as well. And this year, we're actually just launching in Australia, New Zealand. So really going global so that we can help moms everywhere.
Wow, that's amazing growth. Global
yes.
growth. A lot of moms need help in getting back into the workforce, I think. And what's the biggest challenge you face when you train the mothers? Is it sometimes that maybe because they haven't done something analytical in a while, or they haven't used technology, it's hard for them to understand Salesforce? Or is it that because they're moms, they might not have like time to study? Can you tell us about what's the key challenge you face when preparing mothers to be Salesforce professionals?
Absolutely. So I'd say that as far as learning Salesforce, we do start from the very basics and work our way up. And we work our way up pretty quickly. So the way that the course is structured, we don't really leave anybody behind on the tech skills part. I'd say that our moms are very successful going through, and then they have the mentor support as well. So they have a mentor call if they are struggling with anything and need some more one-on-one explanations. Then that's usually a great place for them to go and get that additional support. The biggest challenge right now, I'd say, is childcare. With the COVID situation that's going on and everything like that, it's falling really hard on parents and particularly moms who are trying to juggle schoolwork, potentially jobs as well, and the course, and then now juggling teaching school from home and basically stepping into the role of a teacher for their kids. So we do have quite a few amazing moms who are doing it. And I just think that they're so motivational because they're setting such a great example for their kids too, saying, okay, I'm going through this course at the same time as I'm homeschooling you, and just juggling and making everything work.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's very. So, how are you guys overcoming this challenge with the mothers not being able to provide sufficient time to learn Salesforce? Do you have to make the program longer so that there's more time for them to learn?
No, we haven't made the program longer necessarily. I'd say that with the coaching and working that in, we work a lot of coaching topics in around resiliency, building resilience, and different mindsets that you can use to really to handle the situation the best way possible. And then whenever possible, we're a team of moms ourselves, and many of us are doing homeschooling at the same time as working and teaching and juggling everything as well. So whenever we find any sort of tips that work, then we try to share those out as much as possible.
Cool, cool, cool. One of the best things I like about your website is the Get Inspired section, the case studies of the successful mothers, of the super moms you guys have graduated. Well done on preparing all this stuff, material.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I love that part as well because it really gets into the stories behind everybody and where they came from, where they made it to now. And we just have some amazing people who have come through the program and really made a spot for themselves in the Salesforce world. So.
Yeah, I've seen other programs where they teach either Salesforce or some other technology, and they have a section for their alumni, but it's typically just a couple of sentences like, I work here now, I used to do this, but you guys, it's like a full-scale interview, and it was something I haven't seen before, and really respect you guys for taking the trouble to put out these extensive interviews. And
Absolutely. And it's one of the things that motivates us as a team as well. Whenever we have a team day, whenever we all get together in the same place, it always comes back to, well, where did our supermoms end up? What are their outcomes? And it's as a team what motivates us as well. So that's part of it, is reflecting back on, well, why are we doing this training in the first place? It's to get moms out there. It's to help them be successful. And at the end of the day, their success is our success as well. So we love hearing how they're doing and where they end up after coming through the course. We have some really great stories that came through.
yeah, I encourage everyone. I'll put a link in this
Oh,
video
perfect.
for those inspiring stories. Those are really cool stories of the mothers. And I read a couple of them. I was like, wow, I wish I knew about this program when I was just learning Salesforce. I probably would have learned fast, and we've been part of a interesting group of people, probably helping each other. And how big are
Absolutely.
your?
That's where
Yeah.
I came from. And yes, and then many people on our team are actually Supermoms alumni themselves. So it's great having them come back and being able to input back into the program and to keep going.
How big are your cohorts? They study in groups, right? Or is it a self-paced program?
So the admin cohorts, the admin course and the marketing cloud course are cohorts, and then the consultancy course you can start a little bit more on your own. But the cohorts are relatively small. First of all, so that the moms can get the support that they need and not have a huge cohort coming through either. We limit the admin cohort at 25 people max. And it's also coming from the work experience projects. So we want them all to be going on a real life projects.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be able to get those projects in. So that's where we work with consultancy partners who provide the project manager support on those projects. So the trainees, they come in and they work with a project manager so that they're not going out there and just being thrown into a project on their own and expecting to be able to be successful and figure it out. They have a project manager who's going through it and doing all of the scoping, the requirements gathering, and designing out the solution. And then the moms are coming in and getting their first experience in Salesforce. So they're able to do more of the build and the configuration, and they have that oversight so that the client ends up with a really good project at the end of the day. They get their experience as well. And yes, they have the project manager managing them the whole time.
Great. It's amazing that your students get real life experience at the end of the program.
Yes, yes. It's one of the things that while it limits the size of the cohorts, I think that it's so beneficial that it's really something that they do take advantage of. And then that's their first customer success story too. They're going out and they're able to put that on their resumes or CVs and go out and talk to employers about it as well. And give a use case of how they helped an organization, a nonprofit, to improve their business and improve their impact at the end of the day with the project that they were able to support on.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing offering. That yeah, I agree. This is crucial, right? Getting real life experience so that when they go for an interview, they can talk about something that they did on Salesforce. This is a real life project.
Absolutely. And so many job roles out there they ask for some experience already.
Yeah, yeah.
So having that under your belt, having that first experience, you're not going in necessarily into a beginner Salesforce admin role. You can look for something that is potentially a little bit more advanced, or have the employer even have a little bit more confidence that you've been on a project, that you have this support, and then that you have the Supermoms alumni support as well, because we stay in touch with our alumni. We have events, we have places where they can post questions and things like that and get answers from the rest of the community. So it's helpful to have that support system when you're going out into your first job role. I know we all get imposter syndrome, so it's really
Yeah.
useful to have that group of people around you.
Yes, yes, I 100% agree. And how long are the programs, the experience? Is it like your teaching program is like 4 months? Is it 4 months? How long is
The
your teaching
admin
program?
program, the admin program goes for 6 months.
6 months.
And then our marketing cloud cohort goes for 4 months. And the consultancy is a more self-paced one. So you can go through it in 8 weeks or 16 weeks, whichever you prefer. And we do try to keep everybody accountable for their progress as they're going through. So that's where the cohorts are great as well, for holding you accountable for your studies, making sure that you're moving forward,
Yeah.
and that you have a progression path.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with when you moving forward with a group, there's a good crowd mentality that
Yes.
that even if you're weaker student, you want to catch up and you get pulled ahead.
Yes, and with the cohorts, some of them get really close, and they study together. They support each other as they're going through their different projects. And then we've had a couple who are really so tight knit that they're still meeting up and that they're still getting together, whether it's in person sometimes or virtually, to check in with each other, see how they're doing. So it's created really a great community feel that they're able to go keep supporting themselves. They all came from the same place, and then they can all be cheerleaders for each other as they're going out into job roles.
Wow, so cool. Is there any other program in the world that is like yours from your knowledge? that
Well,
is
there's
like for moms or for fathers, or I don't know, for some different groups?
yes, I'm sure that there are some out there. There's so many talent alliance programs out there, and we really do try to support each other as because we're all in. At the end of the day, we're all in the same mission. We're all trying to get people into the ecosystem to help minorities, to help moms, to help lesser supported groups get into the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So we do try to support each other and be there. I think that there is space in the market and there is space in the ecosystem to be bringing as many programs like ours as possible to get as many people into the ecosystem and really be supporting Salesforce as a product as they're growing too.
Cool. Wow, such fascinating program. I will encourage my friends in Europe, in US, to talk to you guys, and because it's amazing that you get this knowledge and then you get the experience, and you're part of a smart group of people. So I think it's hard to fail when you are going through the program, right? I think what's a higher rate or employment rate? Most people find jobs if they try hard?
Yes, I'd say that typically most people, if they are going forward for interviews, of course, we can never guarantee jobs at the end of the program, but as long as they're going through for interviews, as long as they're open to, I'd say, almost constructive criticism in a way as well of really working on their interview skills, making that they're sure that their CV's up to date, getting out there and going forward for the interviews, then typically they've been able to get into the ecosystem. We are in a very strange time right now. So a lot of companies have had freezes on recruitment and things like that. So there are less opportunities in some ways, but we've seen a shift in the opportunities that have been available. And we're getting a lot more people into nonprofit roles and things like that. So the roles are still out there. It's just maybe a shift in where those roles lie. And we've been really happy to get quite a few supermoms into job roles over the last few months, even with the COVID situation and with the recruitment freezes happening. So we're quite proud of our recruitment team for those.
Oh, well done. Well done. It's in US, a lot of entry level or junior level jobs have dissipated, and so it's very hard right now for career changes to get jobs, and I feel sorry for people who are in a career change situation right now, despite this
Yes,
difficulty.
yes, but I'd say that Salesforce as a product, there is definitely a use for it and it encourages virtual working. I've been a remote worker for 10 years now. So I can
Wow.
see how Salesforce just makes remote working possible. And yes, I think that upskilling, there will be the jobs coming back and that there are still some out there. So it's a great way to future proof yourself in a way as well with your career progression is finding a job in a cloud that is they have work.com now and really supporting companies that are reopening. So that's a really great place to be going into, and it feels a little bit more secure, as secure as we can be right now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I couldn't be happy. I'm also a career changer, and I did an MBA, was in like business consulting, research, and uh, and I'm so happy that I'm a Salesforce developer, not a business consultant or management consultant.
Yes. Yes, it's definitely a good place to be.
Last question, Vicky. Can you please tell me what's your favorite success story of a mom?
Well, there's so many out
So
there.
many.
Can I cheat and go for maybe two or three?
Then
Well,
one.
our first success story, or one of our first success stories, was Jasmine, who came through the program. And I actually spoke about her at Dreamforce last year and was able to share her success story with so many people. She came through as a mom who had been made redundant during maternity leave, and she came through the Supermoms program, was on one of the very first cohorts. So before I was had joined Supermoms, and she had a marketing background. So she came through the course, did an amazing job on her work experience. and Heather hired her in economic change. So since then, she's been in economic change in the consultancy and is now 8 times certified. I think she's one of our highest certified trainees who have come through the program. She's our Pardot specialist and has done some great implementations around Pardot. And now she also manages some projects with our Supermoms trainees coming through. So it's nice seeing that going full circle. And then we have another mom that comes to mind, and she is an expat from France herself, living in London, and was looking for something more flexible around school schedules and things like that. And she came through our admin program and then wanted to keep going, and since then has learned coding and gone down the PD1 path and has become a Salesforce developer herself, and just got hired by Deutsche Bank. So now she's going really into the more of the developer side, and she's really active in the Trailblazer communities out there, going and talking to other people, getting other moms into the ecosystem as well. So it's just great to see the BAM effect, like they say in Salesforce, the be a multiplier. And when you're able to help one person who helps 20 other people, and that effect just keeps going, it's so rewarding to see those kind of success stories.
Wow, amazing. Vicky, thank you so much for telling us about Supermoms, this amazing organization. And it's the necessity of this kind of organization is even more evident right now in time of COVID. When someone who has no job, I think it's impossible, or it's very difficult unless they have a technical skill to find a job. So I encourage everyone, moms and dads, to reach out to Supermoms if they want to change their career, do something that is rewarding financially and also just out of interest. Thank you so much for sharing these stories, Vicky.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was great to chat about a wonderful program.